Now that I've completed the walkthrough of the interface, I want to now start using the video editor. Now I'm going to do this in a series of baby steps, seeing how far I can go with this video editor. Now I've already done the first part. I want to load the title sequence, which you've already seen me do in the interface. I want to remove part of the beginning, which you've already seen me do. Now what I want to do is create a transition, a fade transition. Now with TrakAxPC, all you need to do with the transitions, one way is to right click and then select a transition. But there is no fade transition like with some other editors. But that is no problem with this particular editor because they've made that part a very easy process. All you do is go to the corner, you see a triangle, you just grab it, and now I've just faded in both the sound and the video itself. You couldn't ask for anything to be so easy. So if I was looking at this and judging this from a beginner's point of view, or a person who wants to be a media mogul who wants to quickly put a couple of clips together and then Twitter about it, then this is really a very easy process for this particular editor. So it's an easy task to do. But what is not so easy, and what I'd like to have done on my next step, would have been to do some color correction and things like that. This is not a process you can do, or I could find you can do, within TrakAxPC. So what I'm going to do is actually put the credit sequence at the end and have a transition. Now it's very easy to get two clips to join. What you get is you just drag it to the area, you see this blue arrow, and that effectively is a join. And so you can snap these clips together in a breeze. But that doesn't give me the kind of transition I want, because the title sequence starts something and the credit sequence is the end of something. So I need some smooth way of moving from the two sequences. So this is the area I want to make that transition. And now what I want to do is find a transition. So as I showed before, you just right click, you pick a transition, and now what you do is just play around with various transitions to find the one that suits. And of course, if you don't like a transition, it's easy to delete. It's just a right click, delete transition, job done. Now to me this is quite important. It must be as important to remove or delete an element as it was to apply it, and with some editors this is not the case. So thumbs up to the developers here. They have made this editor very easy to use. It's a fun app to use. So if you wanted to create your personal website where you've got lots of disjointed videos and pictures, and you want to put it together with some beaty music for your friends and family to see, then this app will do the job. It will do the job. It's quite easy. But what if you can't find a transition that you're happy with and you want to do your own? Now I'm going to show you how you can do that with TrakAxPC, and this is a task that some editors make an absolute meal of. So I'm going to show you how this application treats that task, and it does so very easily. So first I'm going to pick a point where I want to fade in and fade out. You elect to make what they call the envelope visible, which is that red line. And you just make 2 points, and you've just seen there, and you drag a point down. So you've changed the luminosity, and you can change how smooth that transition from the one level to the other is going to be. So I've now got the point where I'm fading in from that midpoint. Now I want to do a point where I'm fading out. So I pick a point on that red line, make a in point, and then just change it. So I've now got like a set of points within the envelope, which you could call like keyframes, and I've marked them to where I want a transition to begin, where it should end one type of transition, and then become the start to another. Very easy, very good. So that concludes that part of the test. We now move on to the last one, which is a special effects. Here I've got a biometric scanner, and what I want to do is put a picture-in-picture inside this biometric scanner. Now where I want to put it is where it says insert your photo. So after it's done its little scanning process and verified your fingerprint, it then will come up with the picture ordinarily. But instead of a picture here, I'm going to use this matrix style type video, and it's going to show a mini video inside that area. Now the first thing you have as a problem, creating another video on top was easy. Just create a new track. Putting the track in place was not a problem, but what is a problem now is actually the size, because this track is in front of the biometric scanner and therefore hiding it. Now when you click this thing called segment properties, it produces a dialog box. Now this dialog box lets you change the X and Y position as well as size or scale. Now I find this type of way of doing it cumbersome and awkward. That's the only way to save for this. And the other problem that you have with this is it keeps the aspect ratio, so you can't fit it into any shape you want. Now after lots of fiddling, I was able to do it, but as you can see, it's just not quite what I would like it to have been. So now I'm going to judge the video editor combining all the tests that I've done. With the media process test, it failed this test because of the lack of streamable container as well as no HRD data. But technical support was on the case, and they really came out and shone that they're passionate about the product, and so there is hope for this. The actual interface is good. It's nice to use. It's fun. But as an editor, and when you're doing certain things like I just showed there with the picture-in-picture, you feel like a juggler. Everything's hard work. So I think it needs to do a little touch on that workflow. I've given it 3 stars. Now, given that the target audience is for the social media and novices, I think this is a cost-effective app only if those fixes do take place. That being said, this is an application that I think is well suited for its target.